Don't settle for dry, over-smoked turkey. Use this method instead. My first smoked turkey was absolutely terrible, but people were pretty nice about it. Since then, I've made a bunch, and I've got this method absolutely dialed in. Start with a whole turkey or a turkey breast and let it defrost in the fridge for an extra 2 days longer than it says on the package. That's because the next step is going to be absolutely impossible if your turkey is still frozen in the middle. At nearly any Thanksgiving that I've been to, the turkey is carved and sliced and put on this beautiful platter, and that is what's taken out to the table rather than putting the whole turkey right there to carve it in front of everybody. I'm just going to start that process a little bit early before I cook it, so that way I can get the best result in the end. So the first step in prepping your turkey is to remove this pop-up timer, and that's because whenever it pops, the turkey is already overcooked. Never use that, always use a good thermometer so you pull it at just the right moment. The next step, we're going to remove the breast off of the turkey, and the way that you do that is you find the breastbone and then cut just to the side of it. Make really shallow cuts and slowly pull that breast back, and that'll allow me to stay really close to the rib cage and get as much meat as possible. And I may make a few people unhappy with this next step, but I'm also going to remove the skin, and that's because it often will come out rubbery. Plus, I've got a secret that's going to keep that moisture in there so that way you don't end up with dry turkey when we're done. I'm going to show you that in just a bit. Now that the breasts have been removed, I'm going to go ahead and remove the thighs and the drumsticks in one piece. It's super easy to do. If you've ever butchered a chicken, it's the exact same process. You just cut right along the inside of the thigh, which frees it up. That allows me to push the leg over and expose the joint. I can cut right around it. If it ends up being hard, you're probably running into a bone. Just take a step back and look, and you'll be able to get right through it. No big deal. I'm not a big fan of turkey wings, so I'll often cut them off and then throw them in the stock, which is what I'm going to do with the rest of the carcass. But I've got some people that absolutely love them, so I'm going to take them off and smoke them as well. The process, super similar. You just cut along, bend to expose the joint, and you can cut right through it. I've got my stock on, and that's going to go for about the rest of the day, and I'll be able to make some good gravy or soup out of it later. But the next step is to get the turkey seasoned and ready for the smoker. I bought this one from the grocery store, so like 99% of the turkeys out there. It says right on the package it was pre-brined, which means it already has a salt solution in it. That means I need to go pretty light on the salt. But let's say that you got one that's all natural, like direct from the farmer without the extra salt. Then I would take it and I would salt it up, put it uncovered in the fridge for about 4 hours to let that salt soak in. It's going to go a long way to keeping the moisture in the turkey when you do your cook. And I'm going pretty basic here, just a regular old rub of salt, pepper, and garlic, but you can use any of your favorite barbecue rubs if you have one in mind already. But one thing to keep in mind is you always want to do the pretty presentation side last, because as soon as you touch this rub, it's going to clump up and it's not going to look quite right. This makes it so it has the wow factor when you're done. I don't know about you, but I really love black pepper, especially when I'm going to turn this into a sandwich later. So with the turkey prepped, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge until I get the kettle up to temp. Out at the grill, I'm setting it up for 275 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm using the slow and sear. If you're using a different charcoal method, say the snake method, either way, you're still going to want to use a water pan to keep that moisture in the cook. And for the wood, I'm using peach, and I'm putting that peach wood on the bottom underneath the charcoal because it helps it burn super clean, and that's going to give me a lighter smoky flavor because nobody wants the smoke to absolutely overpower the flavor of the meat. Then I'm going to let it roll until the breast reaches 140 degrees internal before I move on to the next step. And once they've reached that temperature, it's time to wrap them in aluminum foil with a whole bunch of butter. I'm talking at least a half a stick per breast, and if it's a special occasion or if the breasts are really big, like I had a really big turkey, then I would use a whole stick of butter. And this is gonna make a world of difference. This is the secret at Franklin's Barbecue and a lot of other places and how they get that moisture and flavor to stay in the turkey breast. With them wrapped and braising in a whole bunch of butter, they're gonna go until they reach 157 degrees Fahrenheit internal temperature. And that might seem like it's a little bit early, but after I take them off and let them rest, that temperature is still gonna rise. And the biggest reason why people don't like turkey is because of dry, overcooked turkey breasts. The biggest secret is take it off at the right temperature and you'll be golden. And the correct done temperature is a big reason why turkeys are so hard to cook when they're whole. When the turkey breast needs to come off at 157 degrees Fahrenheit, but the drums and the thighs, they benefit from going to 175 or 180 degrees Fahrenheit, which helps break down all that collagen. And parting out the turkey allows me to pull off each piece as it comes to the perfect temperature for the perfect doneness. Now that it's rested for 10 or 15 minutes, it's time to plate it. What I like to do is separate the drumstick from the thigh and then pick off all the meat from the thigh so that way people have lots of dark meat to be able to choose from. Then when it comes to the breast, I'll slice it into 3/8 inch thick slices, which is really good for plating. Then you take some of that butter braise and you pour it over the turkey, which will keep it nice and moist while it sits on the plate so it doesn't dry out. And with these easy tips, you are going to be the star of Thanksgiving.